Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly collective reading. Good to see you. I hope that you had a good weekend. I'm glad you're spending some time with me today. If you're brand new here, this particular reading actually has like 4 major parts to it. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax. We're going to be taking a look at, first and foremost, some channeled messages that came through in meditation and dreams. Then I'll look at a tactical 7-day forecast, breaking down at this point in time what the week looks like. Then we'll take a quick pulse check on all of the elementals. And then we have a special topic today, which is manifesting goals and revealing truth, kind of tapping into our inner high priestess. What I like about this, the truth part is cool because it's helping us see things maybe that we have forgotten or didn't want to see. And the goals and opportunities, it's going to open up pathways to you, and you get to choose to go from that point, what feels best to you. So lots of empowerment with that topic choice. So thank you, everybody. All right, we're going to get into channeled messages. I saw Apollo's tail behind us, so maybe we'll say a quick hello to him and see what he's up to. He's playing with the toys. I might have to give him a snack. Let's give him a snack, and then we'll begin. All right, buddy. You are the snack. Here you go, buddy. All right. He knows how to get my attention, doesn't he? All right. So into the channeled messages for today. We'll leave it up with Apollo crunching in the background for a second. Here's what I was picking up on. An increased sort of like push from spirit to follow through. I saw like a clock, and then very, very specifically, what the guides said was 17. It was odd that it was kind of like an odd number, but like 17 minutes a day. Pick a goal, pick an activity, and each morning or each evening, whatever time works best for you, make a decision during that period to, just to kind of like move the goal forward. Maybe you're going to, research a little bit. I'm going to take him off camera so that we aren't paying too much attention to Apollo now, so that you can move the idea, move the energy forward. 17 minutes. That's all Spirit wanted as a contract, as an agreement to help you manifest, because you picked this topic, a goal per day, not in the whole week. That's not a lot of time. I think we waste more time going to the coffee, going to a cafe, or, doom scrolling on your chosen social media network. So take that time instead, and if you really want to get inspired, like listen to an audiobook or read or listen to a podcast, or to call someone and get some information on something, it's really about moving forward an idea, a plan, etc. So that was like homework. I very rarely get that, but the number was kind of magical too, 17. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it too. So let's keep each other honest this week. We'll check in and see how it is next week. Keep me posted. The other thing here is, okay, so we're focusing a little bit on that time. Deadlines, that wasn't the main purpose here. It was like, treat yourself to this. And if you've ever noticed, I've talked about this in some of the monthlies that I just completed, but when you're really having fun, it doesn't feel so much like it's a pain or it's a task. It feels like it's an enrichment. So I think if we can get into that energy of, I'm doing this because it feels fun, it feels great, it's what I want, it's why I'm here on this planet, then things can really start to manifest, okay? And that was the big takeaway there. So we're going to now get into your 7-day forecast for today. This portion is just like it sounds. It's going to help you navigate the week ahead. I selected a deck, but a couple of cards went flying, so let me grab them as I was talking, and we will begin. All right. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. This portion, like most of this video, is for everybody that's present today, okay? The only thing that will be specific is when I break into the elements. All right, take a deep breath, let go of any fears or anxieties that you might be holding on to, And we already have a volunteer card coming through. And it's the Four of Swords here for today. And let's welcome in Angel Spirit Guides and Ascended Masters. All right, let's get started with the energy for today. This deck just kept flying everywhere as I was holding it, so I know I chose the right one. Four of Swords. Diminishing returns is the first thing that I'm getting. There comes a point where if you push yourself too far, and we had 2 days of the Two of Pentacles for those that follow the daily card readings. If you are constantly tapping out your energy or resources, you reach a point of diminishing returns, and you get a little bit anxious or angry or frustrated or tied up emotionally. I'm going to pull the traditional Four of Swords just because I think it tells the story a little bit better. But here we go. From rest, you're able to put to rest the sort of Three of Swords energy, and you come forth with that final sword beneath, which is new ideas, the ability to have more vitality, more energy to walk the walk and talk the talk. Do yourself a favor. Take a break. I'm going to try to get the Aries reading out today, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'll probably take a nap between this and the next one because it takes a lot to do this. So, yeah, give yourself a break if you have to work hard. Make sure you get enough sleep if you have pushed yourself this week. And if you have a lot of social invitations and everything and you feel like, you know what, I just need to stay in, stay in. With rest comes clarity. With the clarity, you're going to make fewer mistakes. Basically, it's a net win for everyone, yourself included. And we see that this person's getting very tied up or pulled into like stress, and stress is not going to help you manifest. And you came through today to try to feel like, okay, I need to get past that. So the other thing here is just pace yourself. The Four of Swords is kind of like a nice, slow pace. If you have to do a lot, take frequent breaks. Breathe. One thing that I've learned as I've gotten older, if I were back in those sort of corporate jobs, I wouldn't sweat the imaginary deadlines I was being given. I would say, here's how much I think I can get done. We'll see. Check in with me midday. We'll see where we're at. But I wouldn't sit there and worry constantly. I get it. Like I was worried about my job, but I should have been worried about my health and well-being and longevity more than an imaginary deadline. And I would impart the same on you. And it's not going to matter at the end of days. I won't care if I missed or made one of those deadlines. I don't today, and I won't at the end of my lives, or my life this time. So I would encourage you to kind of have the same perspective. Is this worth it? Does this make a significant difference? If not, don't sweat it. All right, let's take a look at Monday. We have El Diablo coming through, the Devil card reminding us some of what I just said, don't get wrapped up in things that you don't need to. And there's more of a sort of clear line with the devil, which is contractual obligations that you can't adhere to. Maybe that's partly why Spirit was helping you get accountable when it comes to maybe a future contract or something that you're a little bit behind on. So that can help. Just if you promise to do something, do it. If you don't think you can do it, don't say yes. If you meet someone that has attachments, unrealistic expectations, or has a lot of strings attached to their love and affection, it's time to put your energy in a new direction. Now, the sort of highest way to read this card is just limited thoughts. So when you think to yourself, it's not possible, it's not happening, I can't do it, we're looking at High Priestess energy, you're inviting it in. You manifest the difficulty. So let's not manifest the difficulty unless we really need to this week, okay? I would avoid unnecessary conversations this day. I would avoid signing on the dotted line. Try to buy yourself some time. We have better times for contracts, like the middle of the week would be better. But let's take a look at Monday first. I'm sorry, Tuesday. We just looked at Monday. On Tuesday, we have the Nine of Pentacles, slow and steady progress. A lot of independent energy with this as well. Sustainable energy as well. Anything that you can delay even one day is going to be a benefit to you and to others. It is reversed, so a couple of notes on this. One, don't be afraid to ask for help or accept help if it's offered. You could get something done faster. Rushing is not the end goal, but nonetheless, it could be like a cherry on top. The other thing with this one is maybe not recognizing the value that you have or someone else not recognizing it. So take your time. Again, anything worth doing is worth doing right the first time, and this card definitely puts like a highlight and underline under that fact, okay? This is a great day also to set long-term goals because you have the ability to put the work in, see it through, and really see some results. So I like the energy of Tuesday. Okay, middle of the week, so far looking like the highlight, we have Wheel of Fortune energy. And I just talked to Taurus, I believe, about spiders. Maybe it was, I can't remember if it was Gemini or Taurus. Maybe it was Gemini. It was Gemini, I think. But anyway, there was spiders that just came through in the past couple of days. And I actually don't mind it as a totem because it shows the ability to set an intention and like capture it. So I like that they chose this sort of spider deity on this card. Now, Wheel of Fortune, it can represent a new cycle in your life in very much the same way that the World card can. It's an expansive energy, and it nicely contrasts what we saw on Monday with the Devil. So I want you to think expansively, like, what can I do next? How far can this go? There's this beautiful solar energy, like almost right above the head here, and kind of open yourself up to receive. And be pleasantly surprised. Be open to be pleasantly surprised. So all of this or greater is what I get with this particular card. Breaking it down into tactical things that you can do. A great day to talk about money. A great day to deal with anything in your job or personal development part of your life. This is exactly what you should be looking at. The sort of more metaphysical look at this is, why am I here? What do I want to do? So you can start to get very clear on maybe what the next couple of years are going to look like. Where do I want to make an impact? And this is a great day for planning, a great day for, again, in the weeds sort of budgetary stuff, looking at money, time, energy, resources, and investments. And it's a favorable card. If you want something, it's a great day to ask. Wednesday looks good. Okay, moving on to Thursday. You might find that something's a little bit more nuanced or complicated than you might have expected, but don't sweat the small stuff. We have the moon in reverse. She's crossing the bridge. There's always a path in the moon. It's either a bridge or usually just this path behind. And we have two different aspects here. Usually it's like a wolf and a dog representing what you've been trained to do and what you feel like doing. And typically in your own life, you kind of weave between the two. I would say it's not this clear, straight path. It's usually, okay, I have to follow rules here, but here I can kind of draw outside of the lines. So allow yourself to weave and bob a little bit when it comes to all the different things that you might need to accomplish, but eventually get back to the goal, okay? If somebody is acting foolishly, if somebody is testing your limits, reestablish your limits, check in to see why. Was it a miscommunication? Is it simply bad behavior? Is there something else? Try to assume the best, especially since this is one of the lesser shadow cards, and it might have more to do with emotions. So it's always good if someone's acting up to just say, what's going on? That's a great beginner because you're not pointing a finger, you're not angry, you actually are showing that you have some compassion. Then if nothing's going on, then you can say, was I clear? And if you were clear, then say, why did you do this? You get 3 chances to clear it up. And then after that, you'd be like, all right, this isn't what we agreed to. This is what you need to focus on. Give them a chance, give them a shot. But eventually you might have to create some boundaries. That's the only kind of tricky thing with Thursday. All right. Friday looks pretty good. A little bit of an emotional, maybe hiccup in the morning, but ultimately I like an Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups typically is a receptive card, the ability to bring in something good news, new relationships, something that surpasses expectations, but there's some stuff emotionally that's weighing in from your own life. Also, things can be anticlimactic when we accomplish a goal. You're like, was this all there was? I would encourage you to take a step back, hopefully at the beginning of the day, but at any point where you're feeling that sense of cloudiness, take a step back, breathe, ground your energy, talk to someone if you need to, because it's still a very good card, so we want to get it into the upright. Self-care is really important. I would avoid heated discussions, anything that could get emotional. But it's a good day for creativity. It's a good day to put things down into paper, to show people new ideas. Try not to take things too personally. Take everything with a grain of salt. But it's still a very malleable, positive energy overall. Okay? Great. Let's look at next Saturday. We have the Ace of Pentacles upright. That's why I was telling you, don't sweat the small stuff, because it actually looks like things are working. And you may wake up to some good news. You may see that there's progress that was unexpected, and celebrate it. Also, this is the day to ask for a favor. This is the day to negotiate something. I know it's a weekend. Some of us, like myself, work on the weekend. So if you do, great. Even if you don't, take a break. Send an email, send a text. If there's something strategic or work-related that you need to deal with, everything's opening up. You can invest in yourself, too, if there's something that you want to begin, whether it's learning something new or beginning something like a project. This is a fantastic day for all of the aforementioned, okay? I also love how this is almost like Jack and the Beanstalk, and it almost looks like a little bean in there. So one thing that I'm seeing here is rapid, maybe unexpected growth that comes from something that you start that day, even if you don't see all of the fruits of your labor on that one day. Saturday is the beginning of something exciting. Now we have the King of Swords, which a week from today, it's quite nice. A lot of times when I'm reading the Sunday next energy, it's always a little tricky, but it looks like Monday of this week is the most challenging. So this is when things can take flight. I love that we see wings on this King of Swords. So King of Swords is the best when it comes to communication, action, and making an impact. But really communication. So if there is something that needs to be broadcasted, it would be this day that you would do so. So publishing something, calling someone, launching something, it's a great day for all of that. Also, you just have the ability, when communicating, to be heard. So if someone's been ignoring you, like we saw earlier this week, possibly, or trying to get away with something, like we were seeing here with this with this moon, then you can come back again and say, "Are we ready now?" And you could be more effective here. Before we move on to the next portion, let's look at the highlights and the challenges for this week. Okay, today is a bit of a challenge if you don't take care of yourself. Take a nap, pace yourself, take it easy. Monday. Trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel or sound right, then I would delay. Again, you have a really good center point in the middle of the week to make something happen. So if you can just push it till Wednesday, I think that's really the best thing that you can do. And then I think that both Saturday and Sunday of the upcoming weekend are fantastic. So Wednesday, Saturday and Sunday look great. Monday's the only tricky day. The rest of the week you can manage. Okay. Let's move on to the next portion. Before we do, if you're brand new and you like what you see, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, stick around. Now we're going to go into the elements. And so the elements give us a chance basically to tune in just a little bit to fire, earth, air, and water. By the way, I will have Aries done today, and then we will have 2 months done for every sign. And I'm probably going to do this one more time because it's getting us ahead. So that was the goal. So thank you for your patience on that. All right. I'm just selecting a deck here that I want to use. All right. Let's take a look at what's coming through for all of the elements. fire, earth, air, water. All right, we're going to begin with fire signs. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Well, we got fire for fire, which is good. The King of Wands, one of the best cards we could hope for. Leo, you're showing up in the background on this card as well. So this is a really great week for anything that involves stepping forward. Whether you're literally a boss or you're just leading something, people are more willing to listen and follow. Because we got another king that came through here in the weekly spread, I think that the weekend is especially strong with both the Ace of Pentacles and another king card. So we could pair that up and say about a week from today, some great things could happen. But over the course of the week in general, it's good. I'm looking at the gecko that's on his shirt. And one thing that I would say is your flexibility is really going to be helpful. I hate it when there's a leader that is so rigid that they don't listen to external feedback. It's good to be able to evolve and grow. It's great to take accountability. It's great to admit when you're wrong. It makes you more relatable, more trustworthy. We don't see a lot of that in general, whether you're looking at entertainment, politics, or just everyday life. There's not as much of those sort of like values. And I would say accountability, flexibility, and even just a sense of humor about oneself so that it's not so serious. I like that this is a casual king. He's got a t-shirt on, my kind of king. So he's not putting too much pomp or circumstance around it. He's just saying, let's get to work. Because leadership and power don't come from what you're wearing. They don't come from your title. They don't come from your name. They come from what you're thinking, what your energy is offering up. It's a quality. It can't really be bought. So know this, and this is also encouraging us to look beyond what's expected. Younger, older, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like wisdom can come in many shapes and forms. And this week, it's coming through you. So don't second guess your leadership potential, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Do something this week that really connects with your passion, because I'm looking at that beautiful torch that he's carrying, and it's really about connecting to passion. Combine that with a king card and you're kind of unstoppable. So it's a really good week for you. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to talk about on this. Just that you have the strength and power to make this happen. And I like that this isn't too pushy. It's really more about coming to the table with a sense of confidence. So if you have insecurity like we all do about something, or insecurities, if there's multiple ones, work it out before the conversation happens, or at least create a narrative in your head where you think, maybe it's just me, maybe the other person doesn't feel it, let's see. Because then you're not dismissing it, but you're allowing for it to maybe just be a fear and not a reality. Okay? So that's my little coaching tip on that, but it looks like it's a great week for business. For any sort of important conversations or interactions, we already highlighted the days that would be best for that. Wednesday looking really good in particular, and then also like next Sunday. Okay? Let's move on. Good week for the fire signs. Let's move on to Earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. It's an awakening week for you. So when we have a blindfold card or blindfolded card and it's reversed, it's basically like the eyes are opening up or the third eye is opening up. Sometimes we wish we could push something underneath the rug again. And the Two of Swords in reverse is saying, try though you may, it's not going to happen. So if something doesn't look, feel, or sound right, pay attention. Manage it, deal with it in the best possible way. Just sort of like, the sooner you get through that, the sooner you can kind of focus on what's important. Other things with the Two of Swords in reverse, it's curious. So if something doesn't make sense, you pull this and you would say, what are you talking about? Or help me understand, or what does this mean? Am I interpreting this correctly? You get the clarity that's necessary to move forward. The final thing is a little bit more nuanced, but it's connected to the High Priestess. Sometimes we have to look within. So who's to say that those two crows on this card aren't actually saying, stop paying attention to what's in front of you. Look here and look here. So in both the 8 and the 2 of Swords with the blindfolds, it's basically you have to trust your instincts on how to navigate. Kind of like in Star Wars, the first episode, where Obi-Wan is having him kind of like use his lightsaber against that droid, that training droid. He's like, just feel where it's at. You got to feel the next step. And that's kind of what I'm getting with this as well. Okay. So trust your instincts. And we're going to be looking at a deep dive into that with the special topic. So I'll help you navigate whatever uncertainties you might have, but I think it's just uncertainties. Okay. Let's move on. So we just looked at fire and earth. We're going to go into air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It's pretty good. We actually have a card that I would associate with Aquarius. So a lot of the signs are showing up this week in the cards. So the star. We want the star to be in the upright position. In the upright position, it represents just what we see here, a connection to source, inspiration, validation, authenticity, and spiritual connection. In the reverse position, often we are trying to be something that we're not, please someone, ostensibly the devil that we saw here, not like literally, but someone that has strings attached, that has conditional love. And it's like, why can't you be like your sister? Or a boss saying, if you were only more like this, then you would get this or whatever. It's like, you're never good enough. That can also be like the Five of Swords. So we're moving away from that and you're saying, actually, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. And you lean into the authenticity, kind of like we saw with the casual king here. He's not worried. He's not bothered about if someone else doesn't like him or approve of him. So same sort of energy connects with this. And then if there's something that you haven't done that you want to do, chasing a dream or a goal, this is the week to do it because you won't be chasing it. You'll be manifesting it. The guides are already clear on that. Connect to your higher calling, your true path. Sometimes the judgment card is about this too, like with the angel blowing its horn, it's an announcement, it's a call to action. So is this. What are you waiting for? And not in a way that creates pressure or anxiety, but more like, why not start now? Why not begin the journey today? Put the pen to paper and start writing your story, your path. This is good for anything that you want to create a splash with this week. It's still the star, but you, for some reason, don't see the star power that you have. So Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, you can do it, you will do it, but you need to show up and believe in yourself to make that happen. And I can't do that, but I can just tell you the energy is better than it seems or feels. So meditate a bit. Focus on the next step, especially if you don't like what's right in front of you, and start to move towards that goal, okay? Finally, moving from the air signs to water, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Rising above conflict, the Five of Wands, and finding better ways to cooperate. Because what happens in the Five of Wands, many times because of poor leadership, is people might act up, speak up, or try to get attention because there's no clear path. So this is especially true when you're at maybe, it can happen in a class environment, but definitely in a work environment. Sometimes even families do this, and there's this infighting and competition. Again, imagining that it was your final day on the planet and you were looking back at this particular moment, you would probably say to yourself, that wasn't very productive. We could have done better with that. So don't get involved in that kind of that waste of energy. There could be a lack of inspiration because the other thing that's coming through is like the thrill is gone. This can represent a job or a task that you're only doing because you're obligated to, expected to, or there's nothing else clear except this to do. So finish what you've started. Guides were clear on that. But let's start to strategize what the next move will be. And when you're in something like this, you don't have to give more than you have to give. Very rarely do I say don't overachieve or don't achieve, but like if there's no clear leadership and there's no reason, save your energy. Put it in other parts of your life. Probably someone won't notice if it's this environment. It's time to turn your attention towards something else. The next card is a very favorable card. It's leadership. So you may be deciding, what do I want to champion? What am I going to charge into next? Make sure that there are no burned bridges, that there is no undone work, that you basically leave something in at least as good a fashion as you found it, if not better. That's my general goal. It's like moving out of a house or an apartment. You want to paint it, clean it, make sure that the next person doesn't have to clean up a mess. But it does feel like you're getting ready to march into something new, because that is the next progression. And when I get a tricky card, I always want to say, well, how do we level it up? So the realization that it might be time to move in a different direction. Okay? All of them are pretty manageable this week. In this portion of it, we didn't get a heavy card. We got a couple that require recalibration, but you can do it. All right, we're going to move on to the topic that you chose, if you voted, for today, which is, again, High Priestess. Couldn't fit it all in the title here, but manifesting goals and revealing truths. So I already have the deck selected for this. Before I get into this, one more time, if you like it, subscribe. If you want to join me on social media after this is done, you can go to my website. All of the links are there, and it's on the main channel page on YouTube. I've already seen a few people giving back, so I want to say thanks. You can always show some love and support through super stickers, super chat, and memberships. Okay, let's get into the topic. We'll also do a meditation today at the end, so stick around for that. I know there's been some intense things going on in the world, so we'll send a little bit of healing energy during that meditation. Okay. In case you just joined, again, close your eyes, plant your feet on the ground, imagine that the sun is shining overhead, feel that warmth, that light, that connection to source, and again, let's reconnect to angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. All right, resetting the expectations here. I want to look for truths that you have forgotten or haven't seen, and I want to help you with goals, manifesting goals. So we probably will pull a couple of extra cards at the end. And I may hold to do the extended just to see what I want to look at in the extended. So I'm going to start with just this portion first. Kind of like I've shifted to in my monthlies. All right, as always, we're going to start off with a catalyst energy. We have the jellyfish here. This is nicely connected to the devil energy. So entanglement, feeling, and pain. The jellyfish was reversed, and it's about letting go of pain that you might be holding on to. As my dishwasher beeped in the background, right on time. Letting go of pain. But part of this involves processing your feelings. So pain is not something that you just get over. It's something that you do process, release, and kind of then rise above at some point. Grief is very similar there too. It's important to feel it. We don't want to rush it. Because what it does do, if you wonder, like, why do I feel pain? Think of it from a survival instinct. In a very real way, it helps you not hurt yourself again. So a hot stove, you touch it, you let go, you don't burn yourself worse than you already have. If you step on a piece of glass, same sort of thing. You lift your foot up so that you don't create any more damage. So it stops action. It helps you get out of something. So if you're feeling pain, you're living, you're alive, and you're going to be able to stop something that needs to be stopped. Pain isn't to be feared. It isn't to be demonized. It is to be understood because something needs to be dealt with. And in an emotional context, again, I'm not a therapist, but I'm looking at it from like a kind of like a tarot perspective here. But pain is something that helps us understand, and it helps us not do the same thing. So it's a pattern. You can just look at it from a high perspective. It helps you stop a pattern that is not conducive to health and well-being. So feel it, but then go deeper and say, why and where did this come from? And how can I stop this activity that's creating it? The pain isn't the problem. The pain is what you're feeling because the environment or the person or the thing is the problem. So there's something else that's creating it. The pain is just there to help. I've never really kind of gone into pain that much, but that's what pain is. It's there to help. And just because this is good, like on yesterday, I felt the pain of what's going on in the world right now. So it's supposed to be a celebratory day, but like for 5 or 10 minutes, I was like crying a little bit yesterday because I tapped in, I was meditating. I'm like, okay, it's intense right now. So that wasn't coming from me, not 100%. Some of it was coming from the world and what's been going on. And so it's good to feel it. It's good to observe it. We all need to slow down and feel it a little bit more. So if tears come, if anxiety comes, instead of pushing it under the rug and putting on a smile, just let the tears come. Let it process. Okay? The entanglement, that's a devil energy for sure. So the entanglement, on different decks, you'll see strings attached to the devil. Sometimes the Lightseer's deck actually has the devil kind of like a puppeteer. So if there's someone in your life that is pulling at you energetically, it's time to cut those strings. Pretty good. What I like about the jellyfish is it's transparent. Usually the devil energy is kind of transparent. You can sniff it out, you can see it, and there's a part of you that says, this isn't it, right? So trust what you're seeing and trust what you're feeling, okay? And yeah, I like to share personal things. So yeah, I didn't celebrate yesterday. I just kind of meditated, hung out with my dog, and did a little bit of prayer and intention for better days ahead, because I think we all need that right now. Enough said. Back to the topic at hand. Okay, so let's just take an audit of everything. I like that the World card is representing you. So already we see the ability to expand and manifest. A blessing is coming in with the Six of Cups. That's good too. It feels like we're in the upside down from Stranger Things right now, and that is also being validated. I'm going to help you travel through it so we can get to some of this, and the rest of this is the scenery along the way. All right, Seven of Swords at the center. Okay, so I'm happy that we have transparency coming through with some of the shadow energies like this. So if you've watched me for any of the 10 and a half years that I've been doing this, you know that I like to imagine that tarot hangs out in a house. And in each room, I can see different cards connecting. So in my sort of version of the tarot family, the devil, the definitely the 10 of swords, but the devil, the 7 of swords, and the 5 of swords, they are besties. And then somewhere in the corner of the room would be like the 10 of swords and the moon card as well. The devil likes to rile things up a little bit. So 7 of swords is a lack of accountability, a lack of honesty, a lack of integrity. If any of this is going on around you, it's really important to ask yourself, one, how did I get here? How long do I want to stick around this? And why am I here right now? Start to understand what the next move is. And I've been in job situations where that is a part of it. I've been in friendships where the person reveals themselves. This is a revelation. So 7 of swords reversed, the veil is taken up. You're having to see someone for what they truly are. We see someone stealing away in the night here. A thief in the night. That is one way to look at the 7 of swords. So if you see it, it's time to ask yourself, what do I want to do about this? When am I going to get out of this? Because that could be part of the ouch, is like, how can I go here every day and feel good when this is going on? I either need to fight to change it or I need to move on. Now that's another piece to this. This can be a person stealing away. It can also just be someone walking away. So if you can't change it, if you can't fight it, if you can't fix it, you probably have to move from it so that you can preserve happiness and well-being. So there's that piece. This can also be both the 5 and 7 are different types of saboteurs, inner saboteurs. This one is just by basically extending yourself, making a promise that you know you won't keep, or convincing yourself that something isn't a problem when you know it is. There's only like two pieces really with this that is but they're big ones. So I want you to not overextend yourself, just say no, to be honest, to be accountable, to be transparent, and to call out any nonsense if you see it, okay? All right, because this is so non-traditional, I was like, I forgot to mention that we have the Six of Wands here. So that, we have success. You're ready for success, but the universe is throwing you 2 curveballs, maybe 3, and I'm going to help you through these curveballs. This one is actually okay, but some fatigue is setting in. This one we'll talk about in a moment. Okay, so success is at hand. So one of the truths that is being revealed, and you may be thinking to yourself, Nicholas, I'm stuck. I'm going in the wrong direction. I've made mistakes. I'm not okay. Actually, you're going to be okay. But we need to deal with it. That first block is the biggest. If you can get past that, this afternoon will feel better. Tomorrow will be better. And next month is going to be even better. So deal with that Seven of Swords energy first, and then we see success at hand. She's got her eyes closed on this. She's not paying attention to what everyone else is doing. Not because she's ignoring them, but it's like sometimes we have to move separate from the group energy because there may be Seven of Swords energy leading the group at work, at school, at home, around you. And if there's that kind of energy, then it's like, okay, then I have to lead and show a different path. So be ready and be willing to sort of like step into that if you're open to it, okay? Success is subjective. That needs to be like a permanent part of the Six of Wands. I can't tell you what success is for you. I mean, I could, but it's not going to help you on your path. You have to decide what do you consider a successful thing. Like if I were to look at my own life, it would be, am I making a difference? Am I learning and expanding? Am I not just learning and expanding, but also kind of healing and repairing as well? Because that's why we come to this planet each lifetime, to release karma, to learn new things, and to make a better impact. That's what makes me so curious about things in the world right now. If you have the capacity to make things better, why would you make them worse? I don't know. That's not my path to decide, but I can help all of us. If you can make it better for yourself and for others. Those are right off the top of my head, some of the things that I would consider success. Notice how money, it doesn't necessarily have to be a part of that because we don't take it with us. Money is a resource that can help you be successful. Money is not success. That's how I view it. It's a necessary component, but it isn't what I would actually put in the category of successful. It's an outcome of success. It's a tool of success, but it isn't success. And if you can see it in that realm, then whether you have it or not, you're still successful. Maybe that helps some of you. Okay. Well, all the families here, isn't it? So we had the 7, the 5, we already got the moon. So, and we got the devil too. So they all showed up in different places in the reading, but they're all here. All right. So now we're going to talk about this one. The 5 of Swords can absolutely be a person in your life. And this one's kind of different. So we actually have more of the saboteur energy in this one. I'm going to pull the traditional one, then we'll talk about this. So 5 of Swords as a person doesn't listen. Actually, one of the best ones is in this particular deck. So typically, 5 of Swords is dealing with their own problems. And what they do, and it's not like necessarily because they want to cause pain, but it's sort of like they don't know how else to feel except sometimes to get a rouse out of you. So if somebody likes to argue, I actually had like an uncle that liked to tease or something like that. Don't let them get under your skin. Don't give them the benefit of this reaction. So this is how you feel. I picked this one because we have someone there acting a fool, and this is how you feel while they're saying things or they're taunting you, and it's like a headache. Just take a deep breath and think, is this worth it? Is this worth the tears, the frustration, this? No. It's just someone that's feeding energetically because they know they can get a rise out of you. Could be jealousy. Sometimes people are jealous and they throw, it's gaslighting or whatever, like, and then it creates this sort of schism in your mind. So pay it no mind. If it's a person, that is very much on them. Boundaries and a lack of reaction will help. If you don't feed it, it goes away typically, okay? Now, it can also be the inner saboteur, which I was alluding to. And that's a little bit more of what we see here. So he's penned himself in with all of these swords in front of him. And what happens here is there's a voice in your head that instead of coming from external, it's saying, you're probably going to fail. What if this doesn't work? What if people laugh? What if you're not good enough? Well, I'm helping you. You are good enough. You will be fine. But you have to put the internal and the external doubt to rest because it's holding you back from manifesting. And that's a revealed truth, but it's also helping you manifest. So there you go. You got a 2-in-1 with those two center cards. We have success, but we have saboteuring energy, both internal and external, that is making an appearance. Okay? Moving onward. So there's a triptych in the center, an idea, but some internal kind of like dialogue that might be holding you back, and then delays. So these things are delaying you from moving forward into the energy of what? Success. Don't overthink. This is at its core an idea, an epiphany, magic. And I guess in this one, they're toasting a marshmallow, but it's cute. But it's basically something that could be more than it is. Kindle the flame. Don't overthink. Don't delay. Do something creative. I've been saying that. We got a couple of kings this week, the King of Wands, the King of Swords. So and basically that's like talking the talk, walking the walk, because the King of Wands is demonstrative. So do a little bit of both. But if you don't feel inspired, get inspired with something. It does not have to lead to something. It can just be passion in your life. So take a salsa lesson and learn how to dance. Learn how to sketch. Learn a new language. I don't care. Whatever it is, because it's going to inevitably open a door that you didn't expect because of that hidden gift, that hidden skill, because of that magic. So you're not doing it because you need something, but it will come in handy one day, you'll see. So just follow your passion, follow your instincts, get into that high priestess mode, and that's going to help you out. Vitality. Vitality is this feeling of, I've got this. The reversal of this is, I'm tired. So sleep, because we saw this, is very important. And because we got the devil card, there can also be vices. Too much work, too much caffeine, too much alcohol, whatever your vice is, there's a little bit of a reality check this week to get that under control, because that's tapping at your vitality. It's taking more than it gives, and that's what the devil represents. So Monday is the day to remedy that, as we were looking at the weekly spread. Okay. We have the King of Wands in the crowning position, which is quite good. So you've got this, folks. I really do feel like you've got this. It is just a matter of belief, ownership, and just stepping into it. So if I were to differentiate the different kings, King of Swords is action-oriented, speaking, communicating, doing. King of Pentacles is looking at all the facts and the figures. If he sees it, then he believes it. The King of Cups feels his way through it. King of Wands just knows it, just sees it, maybe just does it. And so there's this just being very present and allowing yourself to flow with it. It is the most intuitive of the kings that I just mentioned. I mean, maybe I can see the King of Cups and the King of Wands both in different levels of intuition because of feeling it through. But this is, okay, so the King of Cups is more heart and feeling oriented. The King of Wands is going to receive it through the crown chakra, if I have to differentiate these two. So I really want you to follow through on dreams, thoughts, and instincts this week, and then just do it. Don't think so much. Don't think so much. Just do it. Okay? But notice how the king is getting there. He's tuning in, or she's tuning in. Okay? And this is how we all feel. So in the near future, we have the upside down, aka the hanged man. The hanged man is in the reverse position, trying to push through, but kind of like in Stranger Things, sometimes you had to go back into that upside down to see, like, where is this all from? Why is it happening? You have to go to the source. So this is ultimately a card of enlightenment. So if we look at it upright, and if it was the traditional illustration, we would see a halo, nimbus, or sun, solar disk around the head, because it goes back to Nordic mythology, Odin, hanging from the tree of knowledge to gain insight. So we're stuck because it's going to teach us. So there's a lesson. For each of us, that lesson will be different, but when you see the lesson, you can release the teacher, which sometimes could be the Seven of Swords, the Five of Swords with the devil. You can also release the pain, and you can move forward. You have to see the lesson first. I like that this kid is kind of, it's almost like when you're in school, hanging upside down from those bars. I forget what they're called, the monkey bars or whatever. It's that kind of stuff. So if you can play around with where you're at and think, well, what can I do with this? Can I find some joy or something creative in this process? Then it can happen a little bit quicker. If you are somewhere in your life and you're like, I didn't think I'd be here, but what can I do with this while I'm here? That can help you get through it. Take time to look around, look at it from a new perspective as well. That will help you. Okay? Now we have you in the best possible form, the world. And notice how this girl is looking at the world from a distance here. So getting not just a bird's eye view, but like a cosmic view of things. In like the Thoth deck, is this called like the universe in that one? So I kind of like that energy of going even beyond this, thinking bigger, thinking again expansively. So the expansive energy in the 7-day forecast was Wednesday, I believe, with the spider and the Wheel of Fortune. One thing that's fun with, after reading for so long, I can kind of remember spreads. It's good for memory. So playing puzzles and reading cards, you can see spreads in your head, so it helps. Anyway, with the World card, what you should be thinking about right now is, how am I going to bring this to fruition? How can I make this bigger, better, beyond my expectations? Have I explored all of the options? There's a very explorer energy to this. So maybe it's time to take a trip. Maybe it's time to move up, out, or onward. Anything but closing stuff in. Anything but the safe and the expected. This is really encouraging you to go beyond. In business, in life, in relationships, this is next level. And that's good. Okay. In the environment, we have a very traditional energy. This is typically the Hierophant or the High Priest, depending on which deck you're using. They showed an elder here, like a grandparent, and you chose the word wisdom. So there's a couple ways you can read this. You may be going counter to conventional wisdom. There might be someone in your family that wants you to walk a traditional path, and they only want the best for you, but if something calls to you in a different way, honor that. That's one thing that I get from this. It can also represent a gatekeeper, someone that you have to go through to get to the next level. So maybe there's a signature that has to be done. There might be some legal paperwork that has to be filed. Someone is going to approve or deny your request. That's kind of what this represents. A lot of times this comes through in schools, governments, hospitals, structures, things that are in place, that have been in place, that have lots and lots of levels, sometimes just because. So you can fight some things and other things you can't. And if you can't, just make peace with it, get the approval and move onward. So it may represent a fight that isn't worth the fight. It's like, all right, that's just a process I have to go through. Then you can move forward. And it's changing, but like to some degree, college used to be like that, but now it's not as much necessary as it was. a degree used to kind of offer a certain level of security, but it's changing now with AI and with a new technologically advanced world. I think it still helps, but you have to really look at some of the things and think, what will I get from this exchange? Is it worth it? Or am I going to work in the system, create my own system, or just go in a different path altogether? It's a choice you get to make. You're going to navigate it successfully, though. Here we have the Six of Cups in hopes, fears, and opportunities. Oh, by the way, one last thing before I get into that. It's a good time to organize. Organize your home, your finances, and anything you want to in your life. Okay. Now, what's opening up? What's the opportunity? Love, friendship, community. Six of Cups. Birthing and creating. Extension of family. There's nothing negative with the Six of Cups. It's a very, very good card. Really. I mean, it would just depend if I was looking at it as a block. It could be like familial obligations or things like that, or a yearning or longing for the sense of community and family if it doesn't exist. But it's there within reach because we have the Six of Wands. So you have two sixes working together. So you can successfully bring into fruition that. But you might have to kind of move in a different direction to make it happen, since we had the world coming through for you. And it may not be the traditional path. It may not be what you expected. So be open to something newer or different. I'm also looking at the cups just flying through the air around these kids. So one thing that they've learned to do, there's a childlike, irreverent energy to the Fool and the Six of Cups. I'm sure there's another one that I'm not thinking about right now. Oh yeah, the Sun. Those are all babies in the major and minor arcana, rather. And so don't sweat the small stuff. They're enjoying the moment, very much being present. Okay? As we go to the outcome here, we have speed. So this is why it's not so important to rush through any of this, because once you've resolved this, we see only good things on the right-hand side. Expansion, organization and support, friendship and love, and then speed. So that is what the Knight of Swords represents. Things are going to go faster than you think. You blink an eye and it's the next season. Slow down and take time to enjoy each moment as it comes through. That's definitely a part of this as well. Words, actions, and just general activity right now, it's kind of like it has the ability to travel more quickly than you think it is. So you may have the illusion that nothing's happening, but it's happening. So there is rapid movement, change, and developments. Be ready. That could be the only thing that could kind of trip you up here, is a lack of preparation for that. Okay? I'm going to stick with just doing tarot cards in this, and we're going to pull some additional, I think we'll do the expanded forecasts, and then I can always go from there. Sometimes I do oracle, but I'm going to stick with tarot cards because then I can just read one, and we don't have to go into all the different categories. So let's try this. I like to change things up occasionally, as you can tell. Health, wealth, love, destiny. Okay, we're going to start off with the energy around health and well-being. So with respect to this, if I can find the card on that. So for health, happiness, and actually there's a lot of things that come through. It's emotional well-being. So the Three of Swords in reverse can represent something that just didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to. And you're being encouraged to listen to that and say, good, what am I going to do about that? Now what? So it's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's okay to not like something. How are you going to navigate around that and focus on healing yourself? Standard disclaimer applies. I am not a doctor, but this is connected to heart health. So we talked about the emotional component. It's also connected to cardiovascular health. So anything related to blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol. If there's any family history of that, or if it's just been eons since you've had blood work, now's the time to talk to your doctor And that's a big takeaway for anything that I mention here. Always work with a professional. Okay, so let's look at some of these other things here from the perspective of health. Getting a second opinion is the upside down, because it is looking at something from a new perspective. So if your doctor is overly traditional, isn't kind of like listening to your perspective, because we see that here, then get another point of view. Sometimes we talk ourselves into things that we shouldn't be doing or out of things. Like, I want you to listen to common sense, not peer pressure, and not the sort of 5 and 7 of swords that are represented here. The rest of the cards are actually pretty good. So one thing that I would say, if we pull in some of the energy from the devil that we saw earlier, stepping away from addictions and from situations that feel toxic, like this is about possibly moving or moving things around you. So one of the things that might be stuck or keeping you stuck, sometimes if it's been a minute since you've cleaned, cleaning is really good. It gets rid of all kinds of stagnant energy and attachments to objects that don't serve you. So a little bit of common sense, practical magic cleaning. I had to do this a year ago, almost to the day, when I had to move out of my other apartment and everything was damaged by water and mold. So unless I absolutely needed it, I recycled, donated, or trashed it. Because otherwise I would be bringing stuff with me that could create health problems. So when I purged 90% of everything that I had, probably more, 95, it was cathartic, depressing, liberating. Anybody that's been through a flood or a fire or theft knows what I went through. I'm good now, but it was significant because you carry with you all kinds of stuff for years and years and years. But what it reminded me of was Christmas Carol, Jacob Marley. There's well, he's not even a main character. He's kind of like a supporting character. But long story short, he's a ghost. But he has all of these chains that he's carrying with him from life, karma. Things can hold on to karma and energy. And when you release them, you free yourself and things are a lot lighter. So look around your house today. Go into your closet. Is there something you haven't worn for like a decade? Go into one of your drawers or your storage unit and ask yourself, why am I saving all of this? Can I scan the photos? Why are they just sitting here collecting dust? Is there a way that I can reduce clutter? Can someone else make better use of this than I can? Can you recycle? This will help lift the energy around you. There'll be more room for new things to come in. Think of it as a chance to get an upgrade. Okay? So cleaning isn't just putting a dust mop around stuff sometimes. It's also clearing. You can do the same for relationships. You can do the same for activities, habits, and other things. So deep cleaning, but a deep cleaning energetically, environmentally, and relationship-wise. What's there simply because it's stuck, and what's there because there's a true connection? Let's move on to wealth. The Chariot in reverse. Who's driving the ship? Sometimes we forget while we're doing stuff. I said this last weekend, but it's coming through again. So you're allowed to change your course at any point. If you're a student, you're halfway through your degree, you want to fine-tune it a little bit, do it. If you're mid-career, like I was, and I wasn't even necessarily mid-career, but I was decently into it. I was like 15 years into the career, and I didn't want to do it anymore. All right, so I shifted. We get to change when we need to change. And if you don't, then think of yourself as like a butterfly that's never emerging. It wouldn't grow. It would perish. You have to sometimes to grow. Or like a snake that can't shed its skin, same thing. It would suffocate. So it feels like there might be something that's limiting growth. I chose like some extreme examples, but sometimes it does feel like if I stay, I'm just not happy. And that kind of feeds back into this. So you either evolve and expand because of this, the world, or you move on. The Chariot is also a card of management and reclamation and fighting. So if there's something that you need to fight for or kind of like grab onto, intellectual property or things of that nature, this is a chance to reclaim that and go for it and fight for that. And then there just may be a lack of direction. This one I will quickly drill into because I think it helps people. So let's look at this for those of you that are employed. There's something here. I mean, again, we kind of have everything that I just talked about. If you're there just because you're there, it's time to kind of look and think to yourself, am I making an impact? Am I making a difference? Do I feel like people see me and support me as a successful part of this group? If not, what's this all about? Are there fears? Are there anxieties? Are there some toxic traits in the environment? Do I want to fight and change it? Because this can be a card for fighting. Or do I want to find something different? You can do either, by the way. The King of Wands could level up, but it might involve a transfer. If you were to stay in the same place, the World card, it has to be significantly different to stay. So something like a transfer could be good, or moving to a completely different job title. I did that when I moved from like design to production. It was different enough that it was a whole group of people, and like, so that could be good. So when you do something like that can be good, but we still have this energy over here. So it may not be the end all. This is a very entrepreneurial card. There's also something that's missing between this. So this is you, but this is the outcome. I want a king and a king. I don't want a king going to a knight. So if you stay, I feel like there might be some sort of either a flat structure where they don't let people go up to a certain title that you want, or there's a glass ceiling, or it takes longer than you think. So this is what I'm seeing this week. It could change over time, but when we're looking at it right now, that's kind of what I'm picking up on. And this is encouraging you to look around and look a little closer and decide what you want. I don't see immediate danger. I just see stuck energy. So speak up if you want to. Know that you can get a lot of what you want, but maybe not everything that you want. Maybe the environment isn't like the people. It's more the people that I'm seeing here. We're not seeing a lot of money cards, are we? I'll look at that separately, but as I said earlier, money's not really a part of this for some of us. But I do want to look at that. That's going to be a reader's choice later, and we'll look at what's going on with money. For this one too, I mean, we're kind of in wealth. It's about fighting for it. I'm going to pull it now, just in case I don't remember later. We're going to clarify it. What's going on with money? Four of Wands. Okay, you have to ask. So the Four of Wands, clarifying this so I don't have to do a reader's choice later, is just saying, if you want something, ask. And the way to get it is actually through people that you know. And because you've done such a good job doing things, people should resonate with that. I'm not going to worry about the graphic. But Four of Wands is support in teams. So lean into the networks that you've built in order to make something happen. Okay? All right. Back into the general reading. All right. So thank you for allowing me to take a look at that because I wanted to. All right, going back into employed. I think that's the end-all, be-all here. Lean into your existing group of people. You might also be able to find a new job or get the promotion that you want based on the team energy that's showing up here. Okay. Entrepreneurs. Now is the time. King of Wands, world. So the universe is saying, are you ready? Things will happen faster than you think. What are the things blocking you? Some bad experiences in the past that lead to this feeling of, can I do it? Should I do it? Am I doing it? The resources that are lacking, which we saw the solution because I've already chosen it. I'm glad I clarified it because I can use this for every category. So you might need a partner. So you could be an entrepreneur, but part of a smaller group of people working together, like a partnership or a firm. So up to 3 other people if you wanted to. And then that's going to help you pool the resources. the money, the equipment, the human resources, the networks. You don't have to build it all on your own. That's kind of the big truth and takeaway here. You may already have a built-in audience that's ready to activate. So take your time and build it right, whatever it is that you're going to do, because they're going to be ready for it to be like perfect from day one. So don't turn the key until you've done all of the strategic work and the networking and all of that. So the behind the scenes stuff is super important, because when you turn the key, it feels like things take off pretty quickly. All right. Job seekers. For job seekers, this is feeding into this. Things aren't moving as quickly as they used to. It causes fatigue, it causes doubt, it causes the inner saboteur to come out. Don't let it color or mute the fact that you have great skills, lots of wisdom, as we saw with this. It just simply may be time to move in a different direction. And the world can be a bigger move than you were thinking of. A shift in a different career, a shift to a different part of the globe, like as he's looking up at that globe. So you might have to look in a different direction. And it's bigger than just a different city or something. It could be like shifting careers or shifting geographical location from one part of the world to another. If you don't feel like doing that, you have to really dig into the existing networks right now. I'm just looking at a week, so don't freak out. You can go to your 2-month forecast, by the way, to get a deeper dive. I'm looking at 7 days. I just want to underline that. But for the next week, you might need to work with close friends and family, peers and coworkers, and just be patient. One thing should come through on that. The Knight of Swords shows me something that should take root, but it could take the full week for that to happen. Okay? Students. Some of you are frustrated at how long it's taking to get through a program. Some of you may be frustrated with how rigid something is that you're doing. Some of you just want to get out there and work. One thing that I would say is maybe there is a way to do that that doesn't require like you having to step aside from a program or something. You can sometimes work in a 4-credit internship or something of that nature where you can roll up your sleeves and actually start getting some experience at a company. And a lot of times that can lead to full-time employment. So that's good, especially in this really competitive market where things are all topsy-turvy. So I actually think it makes sense to be doing this every other semester or in the summers, but maybe you're going to decide to work part-time and go to school. Maybe the job can pay for school, like non-traditional educational opportunities. That way, it's not like I'll get my degree and then find a job. I almost feel like we have to, flip the script. Actually, this is for everybody. I'm reading it. The students gave me the insight for everyone else, but you have to flip the script. What used to work doesn't. So I feel like now it's necessary to seek employment while you're going to school so that you have the network in place. Because I listen to the news like all of you, and I'm aware that a lot of students, it's taking longer to find a job. So I think the sooner you can get out there and networking, the better. Internships, part-time jobs, or non-traditional students that decide to work and go to school, then you have a little bit of both and you're shouldering some of the financial burden. But it's a trade-off. It's this. It takes longer. I did the opposite to save some money, and I think it's like 2 months from now, I'm finally paying off the graduate school portion. Like, it took a long time, but I went through both degrees faster so I could save 1 semester. So I doubled up like on my last year, and I was taking way too many credit hours, and it saved a lot because we know how much 1 semester can cost. So I saved 1 year of time. So I graduated and I was out in the working world a year earlier because both graduate and undergraduate I did faster. So you can compress it like that. I don't think I would do that now. Or you can pull it out a little bit, live life, save your energy, save your money. And there's different ways to look at it. Flip the script, Find something that works for you. Because what used to work isn't working anymore. Not everyone is seeing that, but it isn't working the same way that it used to. Okay, let's move on to retirees. Oh, let me see if there's anything else. One last thing for students. I do love these two cards. So innovation, this can be engineering, this can be artistic, creative writing. This can also be like developing new applications. Creative plus somehow putting it into writing, code, curriculum, etc. So definitely picking up on that. And then some of you may be looking at doing something with children, so like teaching, mentorship, things of that nature. All of that came through. Okay, retirees. Some of you are wondering, like, how did we get here? Because the world has changed, is changing, and will continue to change. And there is all the same stuff that I've talked about for everyone else. It's definitely going through here. Take a moment, pause. One thing that is cool about age is this: wisdom. We've gone through strange moments before. We can get through this. Wisdom helps the younger generations because they may freak out. The younger generations need you right now. So you're allowed to freak out a little, but then pull it together and think, all right, actually, think of all the things you've been through, whether it was a war, a difficult economic situation, loss of a job, loss of a loved one, because these things come with age. You're bound to experience challenges. The fact that you have gray hairs, wrinkles, and you're still standing shows that you have wisdom, strength, and experience. Now is a point in time where people need the strength and the wisdom more than ever, and maybe the leadership. And so maybe for some of you, there's an understanding like, oh, I just wanted to rest, but maybe I need to come through and help a little bit. And so you can do that if you want to. You may also be thinking, I need to get out of here. I need to go somewhere else. That's valid too. But I'm getting a lot of mentorship and action in this spread, particularly these three. So just validating that for those of you that also feel that. Okay. And yeah, someone said it's nice to be needed. And I agree with that. Okay, we're pretty much at the end of the main forecast here. So what I'm going to do is pull two more cards, and we're going to take a look. And for this one, I'm going to change it up. For this, I'll actually do some oracle cards. I might just stick with the same one. Let's take a look first at manifesting and then revealing. So manifesting and revealing. Okay. So for manifesting, we have the beaver that came through with persistence, planning, and creation. All of these oracle cards were reversed today for whatever reason. So the 17-minute-a-day thing that Spirit gave as a recipe for success, that can help with the persistence because the beaver builds. Planning, you can use some of that time just to think about like what's going to happen next, and then create. So that represents 3 days or 3 parts of that 7-day period. Doesn't evenly add up, but yeah, just kind of interact with one of those energies every day for 17 minutes. And then for manifesting in general, it just reminds you of it reminds me, I should say, of 7 of Pentacles energy, which is you are building. It just isn't as fast as you want things to kind of grow, but it's happening, so keep doing it. The truth of the matter. So we have a rhinoceros here, force, stronghold, barriers. Rhinoceros in reverse. Some of you feel blocked, but you can push through that. You feel, because that Ace of Wands can show weakness or fatigue. You feel that weakness, but we also have strength here. And it just takes a little push. So the push here is really to create the action, the new habits this week. And I feel like by doing that, some good things can happen. All right, we're going to get into a meditation portion of this reading here in just a moment. Again, I'd like to remind you, after I do each major part, to subscribe if you like this. This afternoon, once I've cleared my mind and recuperated my energy, I'm going to do Aries. And we'll have everything then. And then you'll have this month and next month, and we're caught up. And I feel as good about that as you do. And I'm going to do it again. So since this is July and August, then we'll have like September and October, and I'll be working on those this month and releasing them. So you'll have stuff early. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. Well, probably because it was a habit. It was like a way of doing it. I'm like, I just have to change it. It's not working. So one of the reasons for me is I care a lot about the quality. So I like to take longer. The only way I can do that is to give you stuff in advance. So I think we've worked it out. And I like it better for now. Let's see if we'll get it through to the end of the year. This is going to allow me also to make a major move later. There's a method to all of this. So we'll have extra padding for life to happen too. So there you go. Join me on socials if you haven't already. Finish the reading before you click out. It's always Nicholas Ashbaugh on all major platforms. You can give back in the form of super stickers, super chat, and memberships as well. And I just want to say thanks for those who have done that. All right, let's go ahead and meditate. For today's meditation, let's do a little bit of healing. Stick around because after this, we're going to look at one extra card. So I'll answer any final question that might be in your mind at that point. All right, close your eyes. And imagine that you are, looks to me like a forest or, it's like a wooded area. But what I see around me is the remnants of a rainstorm. There's a little bit of fog, and it's hard to see beyond even just the extent of your hand. It's just kind of like this milky curtain of energy around you. Sit for a moment in this fog, and I want you to tune into your energy and your emotions. If there's anything heavy like the fog that you might be feeling, take a couple of deep breaths, and with the exhale, imagine that you have the ability to not only get rid of that, but also gently push the fog to the distance, to the horizon. Breathe in a couple of additional times, and with each breath, imagine that the fog goes further and further and further away until you see a tiny pinpoint of light that is revealing itself to be the sun itself. And the first ray of light comes through and connects with your third eye. And as you start to breathe in, you feel your body warming up as the sun opens up its lens and allows more and more energy to cascade into your physical space. But the third eye is also opening up almost like a star of its own. And it's illuminating things in your life that you need to see. The truth of the matter. The pain that was there, it's revealing why it was there, where it came from, and how to get beyond it. And in this moment, your body, your energy, your heart opens up, and it just feels warm and light and free. Even if just for this meditation, it feels free. Send this energy of clarity and calm and love to the planet. It needs it right now. Imagine that you could, because you are like as bright as the sun right now, you could beam out energies of clarity, hope, and sensibility, all the things we're lacking right now, and just wrap this earth in bright light love. And see the entire earth start to shine, and know that we'll get there. We're not there today, but we will get there. And then focus on your path, what you can do each and every day to protect and enlighten and support yourself. Gently come back into your body. Sigh, and let's focus on the final question for today. Anything that you still need some insight on. Actually a perfect card for this. So this is judgment, but part of judgment is forgiveness. Because if we think of it as the word judging, like judging someone, or judging ourselves, sometimes we have to forgive ourselves, we have to forgive others, we have to release the judgment, which could be the veil that I was seeing in the meditation. We have a phoenix in this card, which represents the ability to come back from any challenge or situation stronger, brighter, lighter. Your story isn't done. Your chapter isn't over. Your book is still being written. So let's write that next chapter. It's time to answer the call, though. Like I said, the traditional card has an angel, and it's saying, now. Now is the time. Are you ready? If you ask me a yes or no, you need to ask that to yourself because the decision's already been made. You know the answer. Judgment means that you haven't accepted the answer. So there is a great line, and was it, I think, in the second Matrix, where she's like, I'm not here to answer your question. I'm here to helping you understand why you got to that answer. Like, you already know, but you're resisting for some reason. So it's like, yes, what you feel, what you want to do, it's right, but what's the resistance about? Is it the fear, the 7 and the 5 of Swords? Is it the attachment to what was predictable? Or is it the disbelief that it's something new and unexpected? But you already have the answer, you just aren't ready yet. So the only reason I'm going to say no to a yes or no is because of the disbelief. Focus on getting an understanding of why you need to move into something before you move into it. But otherwise, this is the penultimate card in the Major Arcana, second to last, meaning that you're just one step away from something coming through. That's a nice way to wrap up for today. Okay, powerful reading as always. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you especially to everybody that gave back here. We're going to take a couple of moments to express some gratitude and some love. So first of all, universal gratitude to everybody. I do daily, weekly, and monthly readings. I also, now that I'm going to do 2 months in advance, one thing that came to me is perhaps we will do a mid-month checkpoint so that we can see where the month is going. And if I have time, I'll do more than that, but I'm not going to overcommit. I'm listening to my own instincts here. So we'll do at least one, either a mid-month or end-of-month checkpoint on some of these just to see where we're going. And that's my thoughts on that. All right, so let me take a couple moments to express some gratitude. We're going to start off first with those of you that have celebrated an anniversary or gave back here in the form of a super sticker, super chat, etc. All right, so I would like to, welcome the following people. Welcome or welcome back. Let's see. Billiana, I think it is. Claudia. And Deborah, thank you for 9 months of membership, I appreciate that. Raven, thank you for showing up as well. It's a two-way street. I'm glad you showed up today. Rafaela, thank you. Appreciate you as well. Alice, thanks. Anna, thank you very much. Gracie. Donna, oh my gosh, so much gratitude for that extra above and beyond donation. Appreciate it. Welcome to Starlit for becoming a channel member. Deborah, thank you very much. Let's see. Sarah, good to see you as well. Ruby, thank you for the magical 1111. Monica, thank you so much. Tanya, Lisa, Michalina, I think it is. Kathy, good to see you. I know you've been here for a long time. Ruby, thank you as well. Magical 1111 and also a member. Appreciate both of you being members. Let's see. Adrian, yes. Damla, Yolanda, Jeannie, again, thank you. The Jazzy Cat, and Deborah. I just kind of grouped you all in together. Let me see if I can, it kind of depends. I can't always welcome in the newest members that were gifted, but I will give it a shot. Let me see if I can do it. I'm probably going to have to just go through them all again here. So welcome to or welcome back to the following: Wendy, Claudia, Starlit, Billiana, Abba, that was one that I didn't have in there, Heather, and I think that was it. And then let me just double check the stickers to make sure that I didn't miss anybody. Let's see, I think I got all of you here. Deborah, Jazzy Cat, Jeannie, Yolanda, Damla, Adrian, Ruby, Kathy, Michalina, Lisa, Tanya, Monica, Ruby, Sarah, Deborah, Donna, Grace, Anna or Anna, Alice, Rafaela, Raven. Thanks, guys. And that's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you, and welcome back to Dakota. I appreciated your help today. And like I said, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and then I will get the Aries video done. I'll try to push it out today, if not first thing tomorrow. And then we are all caught up for 2 months, and we'll start rolling out the next round of videos. So thank you very much. From my heart to yours, have a great week ahead, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.